Gonna make a little videos here on New World because it's pretty cool. So now I remember this whole thing about Jonas is a pretty cool character, and I remember that about New World. Even when I was playing in 2021 when it came out the first time, where we had like a million players and everybody was expecting it was gonna be good. I remember reading all the little things all over the place because you could. That's how they told the story back then through environmental storytelling. So the whole thing is that there is two forces in Eternum. There is ASOT, which is the positive one, and there is the corruption. As I said, if you become corrupted, you become one of these demons or whatever evil that the game's trying to portray here with that woman Isabella and whatnot. But the thing about ASOT I find really interesting because ASOT in real life was an alchemical sort of like the Philosopher's Stone. It was an alchemical theme of ancient medieval history, and the Aesop, I believe, was sort of like the ether, sort of like this energy that was the key to everything. Now, when you go into Nikola Tesla and you work on these ideas on the ether, you find out that this hidden Philosopher's Stone was literally the key to everything, and it is this larger force. It connects to quantum physics and so on and so forth. I might make that video again. I remember I made it like 4 years ago and I barely touched upon it, but I wonder now that Jonas tells you this thing that you don't know is that there are these two forces. One is Aesop, one is the corrupted evil thingy. It is very, very interesting. I wonder if they're gonna build upon this.
Can help you restore harmony. But first, you must find the center. Come, relax and calm the torrent of your mind. I will explain.
Yes, sir. Yo, this is like, I always wanted to be like a Buddhist monk or something, so this is chill, to be honest. Meditate with Kishan. How do I meditate with him? Oh, literally gonna meditate with Kishan.
Your battle against the physical forces of evil has
Physical
honor.
forces. Interesting.
But the real struggle is the battle of the mind.
Of course. Naturally.
Consider the burdens weighing on your companions. The internal assault this island wages against them. Eternum is not just a place you see. It is a state of being, and it will scar your soul unless you choose to change. Attachments to the past become a prison. Only balance can transform that prison into a refuge. As warden to the souls caught in your sphere, you must defend against the shadows darkening their hearts. Create the island of calm within their storm. Because on this island, where time stretches thin to no horizon, your soul too will be stretched thin, a shadow in the dark. Become the light you have inside.
The light? Again, the light.
For you are not just in Eternum. Eternum is in you.
Alright, I see it, I feel it, I know it. Very good. I dig it. But I'm actually gonna go beyond the lore here because even though, like, I would never expect, like, actual lore from New World, but it gives me actual lore. So there's a couple of things that I really like, and it actually ties to something that I'm doing in my IRL project, talking about some forces, some occultism and whatnot. Basically, this whole idea that Eternum seems to be some sort of purgatory, and it seems to be some sort of a hell. And the fact that they are telling you that Eternum is not a thing, you're fighting the physical forces, but that doesn't matter, it's the fight of your mind, it's a state of mind. Eternum is a state of mind, so whether the force of evil or the force of righteousness is gonna win, that is a really, really interesting concept. They can literally get a lot from this. I'm actually not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it at the end of when I'm streaming. But yeah, I think I can cook something with this. Okay, so we're gonna be rebuilding the soul. Ooh, that's cool over there. So we're gonna be rebuilding the Soul Warden Temple to like improve the morale or something, and it's gonna be chill and all. That looks so good. This game has such amazing visuals. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Look at this beautiful game. It's just amazing. Alright. We're gonna start. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go up into the lore here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this recording, but I mean, whatever. I do like this lore. I think it's really cool. This whole idea now, they give you these little things about the lore. So now, when you talk to this Qui Chun guy or Ki Chun, whatever his name is, it's all about like, oh, meditate and clear your mind. So this Isabella woman doesn't get in your head, doesn't like literally possess you because she's evil incarnate. I think it seems. But it says two things that are important. He says it's not about fighting the physical enemies. It's about battling the battle in your mind, battle for your mind. And another thing that he says something along. No, he literally says, AETERNUM is not a physical place, and this is something that I've been speculating about the lore of New World. If there's such a thing, because there is such a thing, they have been working on the lore. Even though people don't get it and they just keep the dialogue, they have been working. Even from day one, when they put the notes all over the place and you kind of loot them from tables where there was no story in the game. So the whole thing that I've been speculating is that you actually died and you came to AETERNUM. Like, it's not like you were sailing. It's sort of like Lord of the Rings, like sailing to the west, where it's not clear what exactly is sailing to the west, but it's actually dying. This is why Frodo at the end, he actually died. He did die, but they don't tell you that in the... I never read the books, I watched the movie. They don't tell you that in the movie. They just say he just goes with the elves. And now if you go deeper into the lore of the Nordic elves and so on and so forth, it's way big. I've talked about it in other games. I think World of Warcraft, where I was talking about elves. But anyway. Okay, anyway, so I'm not gonna talk about that right now. But it's sort of like the same dynamic where you actually died and came to AETERNUM. So this is some sort of a purgatory of sorts, this is some sort of a hell or something like that. Whether that's real or not, this is exactly what they're trying to tell you. This is a battle for the mind, this is a battle against corruption, this is a battle between Aesat and corruption. As I said, this Aesat thing is, in real life, this Aesat thing is an item of ancient alchemy, of the Philosopher's Stone, of finding this holy grail of knowledge, of ultimate truth, which has to do with the ether and some of the concepts from Nikola Tesla, where he talked about this substance like the prana, which constitutes all things and is malleable even by human mind. And now that ties together with with quantum physics and the understanding of the atom or the atom or whatever. I don't know, English is not my first language. Anyway, pushing forward into that. As I said, I do this research in real life, in the afterlife and other states of consciousness and people who die and come back and occultism and whatnot. And there seems to be this fight in real life between the light and the dark, the evil and void, and it's deeper than that. It has to do with the core of the soul. I'm actually doing IRL, a video about some of the sayings of the prophet of Christianity. I don't want to put it too religious, just figure out who is the prophet of Christianity. Yeah, that prophet who said that all the words you utter will be accounted for in the judgment day. And now when you tie that with near-death experiences, you find out that there's something called the life review. So the brain does something really interesting at the end of life phenomenon, which is that it goes into what's called a life review, and there's a lot of science behind this. I don't know if I'll link the science right in this video, but anyway, so the brain does something really interesting, and people think it's a hallucination or something like that. It's not a hallucination. Like, I think we have modern doctors just discarding that idea, But the brain basically sees all the events that you had through your life. It's not the brain really, it's what you may call it the soul, whatever you may call it. So it looks through all the events in your life and it feels through the eyes of others. Literally you feel what the others feel. There's one where even a woman remembers when she stepped on the tail of her cat and she felt what the cat felt. It's weird, it's weird like that. Anyway, there seems to be something about the morality of human beings, and it's not like the religious sense, it's more positive, it's more scientific in a sense. So these stories that we get in MMOs and RPGs between this eternal battle between evil and good, it goes beyond, and there's something very real in it, and I am doing IRL work on this and the research and so on and so forth. But when it comes to New World, this is why I'm playing this game, this is why I'm bringing it beyond the lore, because I think the way that they manage it is very, very interesting. This whole idea that even though this is a PvP game and this is a really good combat game and this is a crafting game, the lore that they're trying to push, and the reason why they are pushing you through their MSQ, I believe, is because they have actually worked in the lore, and they put all these philosophies from ancient Chinese proverbs, it seems, and as I said, they put Seneca, and they put some of other philosophers that are quite prominent, and at the end of the day, it's this whole fight between good and evil. So going with my ideas of New World, I think you're actually dead and all the characters here are dead, and this is some sort of a purgatory where your soul is actually looking to evolve and get past the corruption and get past evil and literally purify itself so it achieves the Aesop, it achieves the Philosopher's Stone, it achieves the light, and maybe then you may escape the island. Until then, we're actually all dead in the island of AETERNUM. I don't know if I'm right about this, I don't know if I'm wrong about the lore of AETERNUM, but I am very sure, 99% sure of the real lore, and I do still believe that all of these games are simply a representation of the subconscious human mind to represent this eternal battle between good and evil. And I think New World actually does a decent job at this, so really looking forward for this. If anybody is watching this and doesn't know, New World is coming with a new expansion on October. Oh, that wasn't a nice transition from the weather. Anyway, it has a few bugs like this. I'll allow because everything else is pretty on top. So yeah, new expansion for New World coming in October, and the new chapter is gonna be about vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. So with the lore going into the vampire theme, I think it's gonna be pretty darn cool. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Looking forward to play this game. I'm gonna be playing this game. I'm gonna finish all the story in this channel, going beyond the lore. Then I'm gonna do some end game PvP stuff in my other channels, and then I'm gonna go through Guild Wars 2 because I was looking into Guild Wars 2, and it also has pretty cool lore. And there's also another expansion coming for Guild Wars 2. Also in next month in October, so it's gonna be interesting. We don't have to be slaves to World of Warcraft anymore. There are plenty of good MMOs. Anyway, that's all I have for tonight, so if anybody's catching this, well, thank you for watching, have a good night, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.